Hi, this is Kate Titus from A Loyal Companion. How are you doing? Um, I have a great topic that I'm looking forward to talking to you about tonight. I haven't done a Facebook Live in a while, so this is a lot of fun to get back into the back into the mood and into the process of doing that. I hope everybody found their way over to the new live. Um, so today I want to talk to you about mourning the dog that you used to have. I know that sounds odd, but that dog is still with you, and I think that becomes a real challenge for some of my clients who can remember um, what their dogs were like before, and it's a tough one to get through, and it all kind of was brought to the top for me. I read an older post by a trainer named Emily Priestley, and it talked about the challenge of raising a puppy um, into adulthood and realizing that you don't have the dog you thought you were going to get. And I think that resonated with me because I feel like a lot of my clients, most of my clients, didn't go into this to have a mobility challenge dog. It's not kind of what you went into it for. You didn't consider it, and unless you adopted a mobility challenge dog like I did, going in with my eyes open, knowing that I was going to be changing diapers for 10 years and have a dog in a cart, it's different. It's that process where all of a sudden you look up and your dog's not walking very well, or your dog needs a cart, um, or your dog has a spinal issue. It's crazy. It's like it just happened. But there's a lot of emotions and there's a lot of stuff that is completely tied up in there, that I'd like to talk a little bit tonight. And I hope, if this resonates with you, throw a comment in there. I'd like to address that directly. But as you sit and you listen to this presentation, to this talk, what kind of memories do you have of your dog? I mean, I wonder if how many of you are sitting smiling as I talk to you right now. Do you think about, the long walks you used to go on, or maybe it's snuggles on the couch, or going on adventures or road trips? Do they make you smile? Yeah, they probably do. But right behind that smile is there that little bit of, oh, I'm not so, but they can't do that now. And that's where the rub comes in. Um, but it's okay to enjoy those memories and to live through those and to say, you know what, those were great times. We had so much fun going on that road trip across the country, or driving to the local park every day, and I like that. That's fantastic, and you should enjoy those, and you should relish those. Um, but now you need to do different things and create different adventures and new memories. But to be able to do that, you need to get past that feeling of angst, that feeling of can't, right? So, um, first thing you need to know is that it's okay to mourn the dog you used to have. It really is. It's okay to miss those long walks, those adventures, those more difficult trails, when you would go hiking, or maybe the long walks in the city. It's okay to miss that. It's okay to feel angst from that and to feel like you're missing those. Um, it's like having your dog but missing them at the same time. Um, I enjoy hearing about those adventures. I enjoy hearing about that companionship, but we can't live there. You can't stay in that past period. Your dog has they have new abilities, different kinds of abilities now than what they had when you were doing the walks. Um, those memories, they give you that wash, right? That brain wash of these great chemicals. You feel so good, but then that starts to sour, right? And that thing that throws the sour, the acid on that is comparison. And comparison, there's nothing good that comes out of comparison. And depending on who you're more a fan of, comparison is either the thief or the death of joy. Take your pick. You're a Roosevelt or a Mark Twain kind of person. But either way, joy is diminished. So comparison is not a place where you want to go and spend a lot of time with. You really need to you need to get out of there. It's fine to visit the past. It's fine to reminisce and to think and walk around a bit, do a little visiting, but you got to love the dog that's right in front of you, because that's the one who's there and loves you and still has abilities and joy and has ways that they can interact with you and go on adventures with you. So first thing, understand that it's okay. It's okay to mourn those times. It's okay to miss those. It's okay to look back and be a little wistful. But don't hang out there, because that's not where the joy is. The joy is not in the comparison. The joy is not in knowing that my dog could do X 5 years ago and now they can only do Y, right? So, first thing I think that we need to give ourselves is some self care. So, this is a period where you want to accept and feel good about the feelings that you're having. They're valid in the moment. They make sense in the moment. They can be frustration. They can be sadness. They can be resentment. They can be a whole lot of things, and they're all okay to experience. We all know that we want them to live forever. You know, if I could still have my Harley, I'd be a happy girl. But that's not right. That's not how the world works. You know, I'd like to have my dad, but that's not how the world works. So, you know, we still have, as you think about, you know, missing those dogs, with that comes, you know, the special care that you need to provide. Maybe it's extra cleanup, all the appointments, the veterinary care, the disrupted sleep. I don't know about you, but I do like to sleep, and there are times when Half Moon and Andy and Helen decide that that's not what's going to happen. But I would gladly give away that sleep to have them in my life. And let's not forget about the financial burden. You know, we have to consider the privilege and the fact that, you know, I can do that. I can make sure that my dogs have as much as I can possibly do. But how do you get yourself back into the present? How do you get yourself back with the dog that you love in this moment right now? How do you find that quirky personality? You know, how do you find those funny things that they do and really live in that joyful spirit that they're providing? You know, how do you do that? I think the first step you need to do is really accept the reality that you and your dog are in. This is where we are. This is what's possible, and we're going to make the best that we possibly can out of those abilities and out of that possibility. It's okay to sit with the fact that, you know, I think about, you know, Helen. Helen loves the mountains. She loves to hike. She loves to be active up there. She's starting to have trouble jumping into the car. She needs a little help now. She's not the springy boxer that she was 5 years ago. And I know that's the reality. And so instead of mourning what she can't do, I'm going to do my darndest to make sure that what she can do, she can continue to do independently, and what she likes and what makes her happy. She loves to go in the car. She loves to go for rides. So we're going to figure out a way to get her in. And right now, that's me saying hup and having a hold of her harness and helping her in without having to pick her up and put her in. Nope, we're not there yet. But when we are, that's where we're headed. So accepting that reality of where we are, the facts of where we are, that's the one. You know, that's how we're going to roll. So as soon as you can allow yourself that acceptance of the reality, that's when you can take the next step and adjust your mindset to create the adventures that fit your dog's current mobility levels. So we're talking about looking at what's possible rather than what's no longer possible. So what is your dog able to do right now? And you can have some fun with this, being creative with what you can do and where you can go and what kind of adventures you can have. And I think the definition of adventure changes. The definition of fun changes based on where your dog is on that particular day, where you are on that particular day, and how you're going to do that. And I think the best way that I can share that with you is I want to share a story of from one of my clients who has graciously sent me some photos and told me some stories on what's happened this last summer. So um, this is the story of Mike and Rhodey. So Rhodey is a Catahoula leopard dog, and he's typical Catahoula, a little shy, a little standoffish, but wow, tons of energy, great hiking dog, which is great because um, Mike is an outdoor education and environmental education guy. That's what he does. That's his job. So he would go and take high school kids, middle school kids out for multi-day camping trips, introducing them to the environment and all the great things available, teaching respect and just love of what's out there. So Rhodey would go with him on all these trips. They would do cross-country trips where they would hike in multiple states, drive for hours at a time, stop, go hike in, um, put up a tent, hang out, and hike for days at a time. So this is a dog who likes to go. This is a dad who likes to go. Um, when I met Rhodey, he had just been diagnosed with degenerative myelopathy, which, if you're unfamiliar with that, it is a fatal progressive neurologic disease. It is like ALS in humans. So it basically steals a dog's back end and it moves forward until eventually it basically takes the nerves that control the diaphragm. And when you don't have a diaphragm, you don't breathe. So that's where we were. So when I met Mike and Rhodey was ataxic. So he was walking kind of like a drunken sailor. He knew where he wanted to go, but that back end, man, it didn't. It was like one of those old fire engines that didn't have the guy in the back driving. So he was doing the best he could, but you could tell that his attitude was changing. He was concerned. He didn't quite understand what was happening. So Mike came to me to talk about it, and there were some sad and tearful conversations. And Mike decided that he was going to do the best he could for Rhodey for as long as Rhodey was alive. So that was earlier this spring. Mike left on a trip with Rhodey. He left Tucson, and over 4 months, they traveled over 11,000 miles across the country. They hiked and they camped, and they kept the lifestyle that they were used to for as much as they possibly could. Made modifications about the trails that he would take, the places he would hike, made sure he had a way to be able to help Rhodey through those difficult patches. Adjusted the travel accommodation, so he changed up the back. He has a jump seat in the back of his like a little small back seat in the back of his little truck. Made that so it was nice and level for Rhodey, and he didn't have to worry about him falling into the footwell or sliding around because Rhodey couldn't control that movement. So he had a soft bed. He built a platform with a soft bed that covered up all the places where Rhodey could get in trouble. In fact, I think we might have a picture of that. Yeah, I'll come back to that. We'll get you a picture of that in just a second. And yeah, so they took off. And 4 months later, I get an email from Mike that said, I thought you might like to see some of the cool pictures. Basically, thank you for helping us make this possible. And Mike and Rhodey did some pretty amazing things, and I'd like to share some of that with you. And let me pop over here and share my screen because this is pretty incredible. So here's Rhodey. So here's Rhodey. I think this might be Utah on the far left. There's Rhodey looking at us with those beautiful blue eyes. And this is the back seat setup that I was telling you about over here. And you can see that, he's still got his back end harness. He's wearing a help him up harness in the back. The harness he has on the front, that goes to his wheelchair. And you can see that wheelchair went quite a few places. So trying to find my, there we go. So that wheelchair went a lot of places. So it went there. There we go. So check out that river. Is that just not incredible? But I think my favorite part of this whole thing were the videos that Mike sent me from his trip. This is one of their hiking trails. Rhodey at the end of a very busy trail. But of all of them, this one's my favorite. That's joy. That is why you don't live in the can't space. That is a dog who can. That is a dog who wants to. That is a dog that you fight for and you do your best for. And that's exactly what Mike did. Now, not everybody's a hiking guide and an adventure guide, but you know what? You can do this in town. You can do this at your local park. I'm certainly not one who could go and do all that Mike did. Frankly, I get lost in downtown, so don't get me in the woods or you're not going to see me for a while because I will get lost. But everybody can be an adventurer. We can find different ways to do that. That adventure can be a trip to, your local brew pub where you hang out and sit on the patio and, have a drink, have some lunch, enjoy the beautiful weather. Maybe it's a trip to your friend's house. Maybe it's a trip to a national park. Maybe it's just the park across town. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be something. It has to be something that moves them. It has to be something that allows your dog to experience different things and creates an opportunity for you to adventure together, to be together. Maybe it's a swim in a pool. I mean, for Helen, that would not be her favorite thing. But wow, if we go up to Mount Lemmon and there's water running in the creeks up there, she wants to go explore. Scared the heck out of me last summer when she decided she was just going to walk right into Rose Canyon Lake. Okay, go experience it. I'm here for you. But that doesn't happen unless I give her that opportunity to do that. You get to decide where that adventure is. You get to create those moments together, and you get to create the memories, because those we love. You can't look back on those. You can't look back on your days and say, I didn't try it because I didn't think we could do it. You know what? Try it. Go out and do a little. Be prepared. I'm not saying go out and go for a 10-mile hike with your dog where you have to scrabble up and down. That's not it. Find those. Be creative in finding those spaces where you can go and make memories together. Love them now. This is the time that they want you. This is the time they get to spend together. These are the things that you remember, and you remember that's how they live with you. So find your adventures, do it together, and stay with them where they are. It was great where it was. Memories, like I said, are fantastic, but you can't live back there. Live right here, live with them, and love them now. Hope that was helpful for y'all. If you have any questions, please just pop them into the comments. And I'm happy to answer those. And if you're watching this on a replay, go ahead and do that too. And I will do my best to get back to you on those and answer any questions that you have. Again, I'm Kate Titus from A Loyal Companion. I really enjoy you spending some time with me today. And get out there, go have an adventure with your dog. Alrighty, take care.